Welcome back to Foundational Health Solutions. I'm Dr. Stuart Hoover, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Marquette. Today, we're diving into a mineral that honestly doesn't get nearly enough attention, iodine.
Cheers, Dr. Hoover. You know, when you first suggested we do an episode on iodine, I thought, all right, table salt, right? That's about it. But, as it turns out, it's a bit more complicated than that. I actually remember this science experiment back in school, must have been year 8 or 9, where we tested different salts for iodine. Most of us had no clue why it mattered, just that it was on the label. I think that's pretty common, isn't it?
Absolutely, Eric. Iodine is what we call an essential trace element, meaning our bodies can't make it, so we have to get it from our diet. But here's the kicker, even though it's essential, a lot of people just don't get enough. And when you're low, you might not even realize it at first. We're talking about symptoms like fatigue, trouble concentrating, maybe even feeling a bit down or foggy. It's sneaky.
Yeah, and it's not just about feeling a bit tired, is it? I mean, if you go long enough without enough iodine, it can really start to mess with your health. I read that in some parts of the world, deficiency is still a huge problem. But even in places where we have iodized salt, people can slip through the cracks, especially if they're avoiding salt or eating mostly processed foods that don't use iodized salt.
Exactly. And, we've talked in past episodes about how foundational nutrients can be overlooked, like with magnesium or B vitamins. Iodine's right up there. It's not just about salt, it's about the whole picture of your diet and lifestyle. And the risks of deficiency go way beyond just feeling a bit off. We'll get into that in a minute, but I think it's safe to say most people aren't as aware of iodine as they should be. So let's talk about the thyroid. This little butterfly-shaped gland in your neck is basically the command center for your metabolism, and it absolutely depends on iodine to do its job. The thyroid uses iodine to make 2 hormones, T3 and T4. Without enough iodine, those hormones drop. And that's when you start seeing real problems.
Right, and that's where you get things like goiter, isn't it? That swelling in the neck you sometimes see in old medical photos. But it's not just that. There's hypothyroidism, where everything slows down. People get sluggish, gain weight, feel cold all the time. And if I'm not mistaken, in kids or during pregnancy, it can even affect development, can't it?
You're spot on, Eric. I actually had a young patient a few years back, let's call her Sarah, who came in with low energy, mood swings, and just couldn't focus at school. Her labs were mostly normal, but we checked her iodine and it was on the low side. We made a few simple dietary tweaks, added an iodine supplement, and within a couple of months, her energy and mood were back. It's amazing how something so small can make such a big difference.
That's brilliant. And it really highlights how easy it is to overlook these subtle deficiencies. I mean, most people wouldn't think to check iodine unless they're already having thyroid issues. But, as we've said before, it's about being proactive, not just waiting for things to go wrong.
Exactly. And, we've talked about functional blood chemistry in a previous episode, looking for those early signs before things get out of hand. Iodine is one of those nutrients where a little attention can go a long way, especially for thyroid health.
So, Dr. Hoover, it's not just the thyroid, is it? There's some really interesting research coming out about iodine's role in other areas, like immune function and brain health. And of course, it's crucial during pregnancy for the baby's development. It's almost like iodine's got this hidden resume most people never see.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We're seeing more evidence that iodine supports the immune system, and there's some suggestion it helps with cognitive function, especially in developing brains. Pregnant women in particular need to be careful. They need more iodine, and deficiency can impact the baby's brain development. It's one of those things where you want to get it right, but not overdo it either.
That brings us to the big question. How do you make sure you're getting enough? I mean, we've got iodized salt, but not everyone uses it. And then there are foods like seaweed, fish, dairy. But let's be honest, not everyone's eating seaweed salad every week.
No, definitely not. And, it's about balance. Iodized salt has been a huge public health win. It's prevented millions of cases of deficiency worldwide. But if you're on a low-salt diet or using fancy salts that aren't iodized, you might be missing out. Seafood, dairy, and eggs are good sources, but if those aren't in your diet, you might need to look at a quality iodine supplement like Mother Earth Labs Lugol's Iodine solution. This is a product trusted by practitioners all around the globe and my go-to iodine support. The key is not to go overboard. Too much iodine can cause its own set of problems. It's always best to check with a healthcare provider if you're unsure.
And it's interesting, isn't it, how these public health initiatives, like iodized salt, have made such a difference globally. But, as with so many things we've talked about on this show, it's not one size fits all. You have to look at your own habits, your own diet, and make sure you're covering the basics.
Absolutely, and that's what foundational health is all about, getting those basics right so everything else can fall into place. Well, that's all we've got time for today. Eric, always a pleasure chatting with you about these hidden gems of nutrition.
Likewise, Dr. Hoover, and thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to check out our previous discussions on magnesium, B vitamins, and all the other foundational pieces of the puzzle. Also, make sure to visit motherearthlabs.com to learn more about their Lugol's iodine supplement and other amazing products. We'll be back soon with more insights. Until then, take care of yourselves.
Take care, everyone, and we wish you all the best in health.